Now, here's your Storm Tracker weather forecast with Chief Forecaster Bob McGuire.
That's right, and good evening, everybody. It's been an interesting night. We're going to start off with Roberts. This is a picture that came to us from Jennifer Maddox, and this was in Roberts. Had a little light hail, a little pea-sized hail that she has in her hand there, and that's what we had there today. Meanwhile, take a look at this shot tonight. Comes from Janae Marie Zaharko. Just kind of a pink sky at night, another delight tonight. The storms moved in around the Billings area, and then I left, and that was what our sunset looked like. Oh, it was gorgeous. Meanwhile, here's the way things are shaping up in Billings right now. Currently, we do have 77 degrees under a partly cloudy sky. Our wind is out of the south now at about 5 miles per hour. Our high temperature today topped out at 98, close to 100, but not quite there. 88, your normal high. The record 105, set back in 1999. Record low was 49, set back in 2004. And as far as precipitation-wise, nothing new fell in our rain gauge. We had a storm go to the north and to the east of Billings, also to the south. Just kind of went all around us. We never got anything out of it. So here's where we are for the month. Still ahead of normal for the month. At 1185 is where we are for the year. So that means we're still ahead of year-to-date totals for the year. Year-to-date, we should be at 9.05. So obviously we're a little ahead of normal there. Meanwhile, as you'll see, our current temps, 60s and 70s out in the west, across the high line, 60s as well. Can you tell we've had a cold front kind of sweep in from the west and kept us in the 60s and 70s, and just about right about here is where that cold front is. We're still into the 80s in some cases, 76 over Miles City, 82 at Glendive. But look at our reported highs for the day. Look at that, 102 at Glasgow and Jordan, 90s back here across most of eastern Montana. Out in the west, a little cooler there because the cold front moved through earlier in the day. They had temps only into the 70s and 80s out there. It was 83 over at Dubuque today. Meanwhile, tonight you can see the Doppler radar shows the scattered rain showers. Just the stuff that missed us, they kind of grew out once it got past the Billings, and then just really started making some pretty good sized storms as they went in between Miles City and Broadus tonight. That's the biggest one right now tonight, and that still continues to race its way towards South Dakota. What's happening here is you can see this dip in the jet stream. It caused that big ridge of high pressure that had been sitting over us to be squashed a little bit. In fact, it pushed it back down. So now that circulation around that high is clockwise, and it takes some of that monsoon moisture, instead of pushing it all the way up to Billings, now it's pushing it out this way into parts of South Dakota and eventually into North Dakota. So at the surface, there was the cold front that moved through today. That continues to move into the Dakotas tonight, and by tomorrow morning, we're looking at high pressure filtering in behind that. That'll give us more stability, clearing skies, and most of the showers will be going bye-bye for a while. In fact, looks like for the rest of the week, that high pressure will stay there and keep most of the showers going around us. So we're not expecting much in the way of rainfall, but what we will see is a new warm front move through on Friday night into Saturday. This might give us just a little instability enough to produce some spotty showers, certainly some cloudy skies moving in from the southwest on Friday night. In the meantime, as far as precipitation, looks like Billings might pick up under 1/10 of an inch of rainfall. Maybe Cody, the big winner, at 1700s. We're not expecting a lot of rain out of these stuff tonight. Meanwhile, as you'll see tomorrow, our overnight tonight will cool back down to the 40s and 50s across parts of western Montana. Back here in south central Montana in the east, 50s and 60s back here with some spotty showers tomorrow. Back to the 80s, some low 90s. Billings about 90 degrees, 91 at Hardin. Farther out, closer to the mountains, probably more like the 70s and 80s out there. But for Billings tonight, partly cloudy skies, 59 degrees for the overnight low. Looks like if we had any more showers, it's going to be less than a 30% chance of rain here tonight. And so for the next 7 days, it'll be into the 90s on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Of course, got the big hill climb coming up on Friday night and on into Saturday, so the weather's going to be typical for that, mostly into the 90s. 86 on Sunday, 92 on Monday, and into the 80s on Tuesday and Wednesday. But one thing in common, mostly sunny skies for the next 7 days. Let's go back to Russ.